Hey guys, this is Mr. MarioFan12, and welcome to my first ever top 10. I have never done a top 10 on my channel before, so this is going to be my first one. For this, we're counting down the top 10 Rec Room originals, and see which one is my favorite. Now don't be wrong, this is just my personal opinion, I don't hate these, but if you have different opinions, that's okay. So this is the countdown of the top 10 Rec Room originals. Without further ado, let's get to it. Number 10. Bowling. It's not just because I have bad luck on it, but it's because people get distracted. You know, there's people having their conversations, and there's pool, concentrating on pool rather than the game. I'm just sitting there waiting for their turn. Once I took my turn, it'll be someone else's, and the person that has a chance to roll, it's either player is playing pool or being distracted by their friends having their conversations. So I have to get up there to that person and say, yo, it's your turn, roll. And that's when I start to lose my patience. I'm not saying it's a bad bowling game, it's not bad, but I just have bad luck on it. Oh, especially when trying to roll the ball. 9 times out of 10 I miss all the pins. Very rarely I get a strike, let alone a spare. Almost every roll I get, it's always result to a 0. Almost every frame in bowling. It's not just because I'm bad at it, it's because I tend to lose my patience when I'm sitting there waiting for players to take their turn for when they're just playing pool or just having their conversation in general. So that's the reason I put bowling at number 10. Number 9. Dodgeball. And the reason I like this one more than bowling is because there's nothing like throwing a ball right at your opponent, let alone 3 of them. But what I don't like, the only flaw I have, is that it takes you 20,000 years for somebody either to win or lose. Like, for example, you're already out, and you're sitting there waiting and waiting for years and years for your other teammate to either take all the teammates out, or you get out. That's the only problem I have with a dodgeball. It would have been great if they can have a practice run, like sample. When you get hit, they'll give you other stack of balls. No, I'm not going there. Do some ball throwing, like a practice run. That would have been better. That's the reason I chose dodgeball number 9, is because there's nothing like throwing a ball right at your opponent. Number 8. Rec Royale. This one has a pits of 14 to 16 individual players, or 6 teams of 3 players. There's nothing like we're playing with 2 other people, you get separated from each other, and you'll go in from treasure to treasure to find weapons, whether it's a rifle, a shotgun, or even a grenade launcher. You'll be running around the island searching for other players, other enemies, other people. And then at the same time, you got a whole army swarm bees. I think they're swarm of bees. I'm going to call them swarm of bees. Surrounding the island. And thankfully what I do like is they have a yellow circle. The yellow circle indicates the players that they are at. That's really helpful. That's what I do like about it. And sometimes the players shoot at you with no warning. It doesn't matter if you're close or far. They will get you and you'll have no warning. Now what I don't like is that people always land onto the lake. It is not recommended because players, most of them, will be landing on that lake. I like the environment. You know, you're at the National Park Island or Frontier Island or whatever, running around, gathering up weapons, and trying to kill people. I mean, that's what this is. You're on an island, gathering around weapons on coolers, and trying to find somebody to defeat. And also, not to mention, it is the laggiest game in Rec Room. Well, the laggiest Rec Room original. Though you may experience some lag issues, just to give you a heads up if you're ever going to play it. But aside from the lag, it's pretty fun to search for some weapons and try to kill off the other players. So that's my thoughts on Rec Royale. But another problem is that you'll have to take years and years for players to join in. That's the nitpick I have. Oh, and do not do solo. You'll wait for 20,000 years for everybody to join in. So that's my opinion on Rec Royale. Number 7. The Isle of Lost Skull. If you're a pirate fan, then this quest is for you. I'm choosing this one in the countdown because, it's pirate themed and you get to use the cannons, like the one level where you're on the ship and shooting the cannons at pirates across the ship. And that's one of my favorite levels, is where you get to shoot the cannons at the other pirates. And also the final boss. I do like the final boss. You get to shoot cannons right at the boss. Enemies spawn in, whether it's hundreds or thousands. And it has the flintlock. I really like the flintlock, and it comes in handy when you have enemies that are way far away, or those gunmen that are shooting at you, because it's a projectile weapon. Either way, it's really helpful. So I like the environment. It's pirate themed. Oh, it has the cannons. I really like the cannons. But my biggest hazard is the bombs in the underwater level. I call them COVID bombs because they're shaped like COVID-19. That's why I call them the COVID bombs. I've already talked about it on my worst to best Rec Room quests, so I won't say much about it. That is Lost Skull. Number 6. Stunt Runner. This one is an obstacle-based extreme sports game show. You can play on your own and try to beat your best time, or gather up to 4 players and race each other. And another reason I like this one is because it has obstacle course where every second counts. We must sprint, climb, wall jump, mantle, and dodge hazards to survive. It contains 6 courses, and as they get harder and harder, increase the difficulty to progress. Now the one thing though, if this is your first time playing it, you're going to have trouble on which direction to head towards. If this is only the first time you're not going to know where to go. You're going to have trouble which way to go, what do I do, which way to go, and you have 3 minutes to complete the whole thing. And it also has ranked awards that you can earn. These awards depend on your time. Just try to get the lowest time possible. That's the reason I like Stunt Runner, is because you can beat your best time, do a speed run, or you can race against 4 players. Now, I do not do public stunt runners. When I'm not playing with friends, then I'll do a speed run on my own. But when it's with friends, then I will race on them. So that's my opinion on Stunt Runner. Number 5. Laser Tag. This one is on a lot of people's list, and I can see why now. Because it's laser tag in the virtual world. I mean, this is not like laser tag in real life, but it's similar. Tag your teams, and you get to communicate with players while you're playing. Whether it's having a conversation about something or someone, hear trolls, people raging. You can also revive your players, and it has a health bar. But be careful with those shotgun players. Watch out for those. And not to mention, when you're playing laser tag, you gotta play with hardcore players. That's my only issue I have with laser tag, is that you gotta play with hardcore players. But my only nitpicky is that they only have 2 maps. It would have been great if they can add more maps on laser tag rather than just 2. I mean, I like those 2 maps, but it would be better if they have a couple more. That, I wanted to give out my thoughts on that. So, that is laser tag. Number 4. The Rise of Jumbotron. This one is the hardest quest out of the 5 in my opinion, because you keep friendly firing players and you accidentally blow yourself up with the grenades. You always have to reload your guns, and those 2 enemies, the big purple bots and the mice bots. But I keep coming back to it because it has this laser tag field environment. You get to use a shotgun, which of course shotgun's everyone's favorite weapon in the entire quest is the shotgun. But one of the only nitpicks I have is the echoey level. That's where the player's voice gets so echoey you can't hear what they're saying. And I already mentioned probably the hardest enemy to deal with in the quest is those big purple bots, those big purple guys. They multiply all their attacks. That's the reason it's so hard to kill these guys. When you see 3 of them, you're done, because there's no chance you can kill all 3 of them by yourself. I usually use 2 shotguns to kill them off. I keep coming back to it because I like the environment, I like to get to use a shotgun or any other blaster. Well, mainly shotgun's my favorite. Look, I just keep coming back to it because you get to shoot out the bots from laser tag, and I like the environment, I like the laser tag feel into it. So I just keep coming back, even if I think it's the hardest out of the 5. Number 3. 3D charades. I really enjoy trying to guess on what people are trying to draw, and I have an interest in drawing. Is another reason I picked this one in number 2 in the countdown. I really enjoy trying to guess on what people are trying to draw, or they're guessing what I'm drawing. I don't like team match because it cuts out the fun. It feels boring, like you're sitting there bored. Like, you can't even say anything on what the other teammate is trying to draw. And you get bored stiff. It takes you, like, how many minutes, whatever it takes for your turn. It just cuts the feel. That's why I don't like team battle, because it cuts down the fun of it. I like all of us trying to guess on what they're trying to draw. So that's my thoughts on 3D charades. Number 2. Paintball. Now, the reason I like this more than laser tag is, for one thing, it has more maps instead of 2. And another thing is that the weapons, you don't have to keep reloading them constantly, and it only takes 1 shot to take out a person. 1 hit. And it has 2 modes. There's capture the flag and team battle. I like team battle because there's nothing like trying to hit players without having to go capture a flag. It's more fun to do a team battle. For me, in my opinion, it's fun to do team battle rather than capture the flag. And my favorite map is the drive-in theater. That one is my favorite map and the newest map of Paintball. I know this has nothing to do with well, it kind of does. But yeah, that's why I chose Paintball on number 2, because it has more maps, no reloading weapons, has 2 different modes, and you don't have to reload your gun. So that is Paintball. We've seen the 9 contenders. They're the funnest of the fun. But only one original can top all contenders in the countdown. Who is it? Let's find out. And the number 1 Rec Room original goes to... Crescendo. I've already talked about this in my worst to best Rec Room quest video, but I won't go too deep about it. Well, first off, the reason I choose this one at number 1 is because it's Halloween themed, it's inspired by Castlevania, you know, you got a castle, you got a whip, and Dracula is the final boss. I also like the enemies, like the snipers are the hazard, we got the bats, the swoopers, the dogs that charge right at you, and another reason is that it has mini-bosses. Adding mini-bosses adds up to the challenge. I think the bosses are the easiest part of the quest, but we all know my favorite boss is Dracula. And the reason that is because there's so much going on. Not only you got the whole ensemble of bats, but also pumpkin spicers, bone throwers, snipers, and the barrel dogs. The main hazards is not just the snipers, but the barrel dogs and the bone throwers are your main hazards, aside from the swoopers. Now you got whipping going on, trying to whip all the bats. For every bat you kill, enemies spawn in, no matter which enemy. They all spawn in bone throwers, snipers, barrel dogs, but the most common are pumpkin spicers and bone throwers. Those are the enemies that you want to watch out, aside from the barrel dogs and the snipers. The only tip I can give out is kill 1 bat at a time and then get all the enemies. Then kill another bat and all the enemies. Rinse and repeat. Once you get all that, then you can go get Dracula, because if you get Dracula first and there's 2 trillion enemies, then it gets too overwhelming and there is a big chance that you will die. I mean, imagine trying to kill off the enemies while Dracula is shooting all his fireballs, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 times. When that happens, there'll be no chance you could win. Unless you have me around, there will be a better chance of winning. And those are my thoughts of my favorite Rec Room original, Crescendo, the #1 Rec Room original. So there you have it, my top 10 Rec Room originals. If you have a different opinion, that's okay. You don't have to like what I like. What's your favorite Rec Room original? You can post, oh wait. If you look at this, I have my own Rec Room shirt. This is the Squad Goal shirt I bought from the Rec Merch. If you want to get your own Rec Room shirt or Rec Room merchandise, links in the description. If you want to go to the Rec Merch store, they've got Rec Room shirts, phone cases, but mainly shirts. I mean, that's what I go for the shirts. So that link's in the description below. Thank you all for watching my top 10 Rec Room originals. What is your favorite? What's your top 10 Rec Room original? You can post it in the comments below. That's a wrap for this. So, for the sign off, this is Mr. Marfan 12 signing off.